She's still new. She's one of them aunties that is not very tech savvy. Hey, girl.
Hey.
I was like, I'm just trying to get in here early, and I was like, okay. I was like, let me see if I can do this. So we're good. How are you, doll?
I'm good. How are you?
I am sweating. I have been going everywhere. I was like, they are not getting me in makeup today. So this Oklahoma heat is not giving it.
It's not.
Yeah. So we'll give it a few more seconds, see if anybody else wants to join. But yeah, get you a little drinky drink.
Right.
I went got me a little slushy from Sonic.
Yeah, I got my water, so yeah, I picked my nephew up from school. He had football practice, so they got him going. Yeah.
Well, I shared the poster, so it was like, how you know her? I was like, she's in my interview tonight. I was like, so join us. Come join.
Right.
So we've got a few more people, so I guess we can go ahead and get started. So everyone, welcome to Skoden Talks with the Homies. Our special guest today is Sache Primeaux-Shaw. Say hello, doll.
Hi, it's Sache.
Sache. See, everybody, my name is Kate Chanell, and everybody calls me Sache. Anyways, I'll be Sache. Sache Primeaux-Shaw. So, if you'd like, I'll go ahead and give you the floor. Would you like to tell us a little bit more about yourself and your background?
Okay, so my name is Sache Primeaux-Shaw. I am a native of Oklahoma City. I am Ponca. I'm an enrolled member of the Ponca Tribe of Oklahoma. I'm also a Seminole Freedmen and Chickasaw Freedmen descendant. And I'm also of Yankton, Dakota descent. And I do a lot of community work. Oh man, like I've been doing a lot. Like I work with NAACP Youth in College. I'm a former state president for them. And then also I work with the Democratic Party. I'm a former Young Democrats of Oklahoma president, and also a former Young Democrats of America Native Caucus president, chair, and also I was vice chair for the Black Caucus of Young Democrats of America. So I've been trying to do a lot of civic engagement work. I worked with Natives Vote with Judith LeBlanc, our Caddo sister. And then I work a lot with Jay Shalines Echo Hawk. She's one of my very best friends. And so, yeah, and Ashley McCrae, that's my girl. She taught me about direct action, nonviolent direct action as well. So, I mean, I've just been out here, especially
There.
in Northeast Oklahoma City, because that's where I'm from. That's my hood. My mom is from the South Side. She's a South Side Primo, as they say. She's a Ponca black woman who will cut you.
Oh, just Ponca enough, and now she's a Southside Ponca. That is.
Right. She's Southside Primo. Like, because it's funny. Like, the White Eagle Primos are like, listen, there's a difference between us and the Southside Primos. So, but, it's all love. But, yeah, so that's what I do. Right now, I'm working with Clean Up Oklahoma, which is a anti-corruption campaign here in the state. And what we're trying to do is educate folks about policy, right? Because here in Oklahoma, oftentimes a lot of folks, especially in areas outside the metro, don't really understand. They don't really pay attention to the fact that some politicians that they're voting in are voting against things that will help them, and and about basic policy, and that's what we're trying to do. And then also we're just trying to help them know which folks to not vote in, because they're just not, it's just an issue, especially in rural areas. And we're not trying to tell them what to do, because that's the last thing I want to do. I don't want to be condescending, because my relatives are in the rural areas, right? But at the end of the day, they need to know, the Senate pro tem, I don't care, I'm calling him out, he's not he's not for you, or the Speaker of the House is doing some shady stuff and whatever. That's what we're trying to do. And then also, I work with Oklahoma Poor People's Campaign, which is Reverend Barber out of North Carolina's organization. So I'm one of the state coordinators here. And so I've been trying to get them involved with Indigenous communities, as well as Black communities and Latinx communities, LGBTQ, Two-Spirit communities here in the state. So they are doing a really good job at that. I'm trying to have more lives with them, as far as, Zoom lives, so they can talk to more Native communities, because they're not really engaged like that. Even in North Carolina, which we know our relatives out there, the Cherokees and Lumbees and, all those tribes out there, Hollow-Saponi, they don't really know those communities. So we're trying to help each other in that regard. So yeah, that's what I do.
I'm so glad to have you, and I'm so glad you are voicing it out and getting it out there, because I think more of our Native people need to know someone like you. So I'm so glad to have you. I'm so glad to be able to host you. So our next question would be, which of those would you be more passionate about, or where's your heart set on out of all of those? What is your most, this is what I'm going for at the moment?
Well, definitely civic engagement, because I tell folks all the time, on my father's side alone, I'm a fourth generation Democrat, fourth generation voter. My great grandfather came from Louisiana. His parents were formerly enslaved, and from South Carolina and Louisiana. And he came to Boley, Oklahoma, which is in Creek territory. And the land that Boley sits on was actually owned by a Creek freed girl, Abigail Barnett. So I tell folks that all the time, this man was coming after the county commissioner, telling him, you only come to our fish fries every 4 years. What's that about? So that's the way I am. That's the way my grandparents have been. And my grandma sat on the Seminole Nation General Council. I have relatives that, were part of the Ponca Council. And so that's why, I am as engaged as I am, because I come from two communities that historically have been engaged in civic engagement. And so that's why I'm so passionate about that, because when I at my baccalaureate, Connie Johnson, hopefully future governor, was she spoke at our she spoke at our baccalaureate, and I said, man, I want to get involved deeper than what I have been, because when I was a kid, like I was knocking doors for like various candidates. Um, shoot, former state senator Angela Munson. That was the first. Uh, that was the first campaign I sat on, and then also I had former state representative Opio Teray, and you know he's deceased now, but he took me to go register to vote when I was 18, right after I
Oh,
graduated from Douglas High School, and so I knew all of those folks, but then I was like, man, how can I get deeper involved? And so I learned about Young Democrats, and so I joined College Democrats at Oklahoma City University, and then I joined Young Democrats after I graduated from college. And so,
there we go.
that's been my start, I should
Oh,
say.
you're good.
Yeah,
So, someone like me, I'm not middle aged, but I'm getting there. We're not going to say my age. But so,
yeah.
me being an LGBTQ member and Native of the community, what would you tell someone like me to encourage me to help me vote? I've never voted before and I've never wanted to just because of certain issues and people I don't feel like has ever been like on my side. What would you say to someone like me to encourage us to get involved in our communities and to vote?
Well, I would say, I know, like in this state especially, like there's like a war on all of us, right? However, at the end of the day, like there are people, like State Rep Maury Turner. They are of the community, and I think that um, when like basically, oh sorry, basically like I'm holding this phone. Like when you get engaged with like not only community leaders like them, but also um, just finding organizations and like activists, like Jasha, like folks that will stand up for you. Like that would be the route I would go. Like I'm not a part of that you all's community, but I am a part of your community as far as being a Native woman, being a Black woman, and I just I would say like just seeking out folks like that because yeah, it's just been like it's been hard here. Like it's just like it's a war on us,
It's
like
it's
on all of
like
us, and
in all honesty, it's always
yeah,
been discouraging because like they speak a good talk, but do they have the best of our interests? And so
right,
not just only just the LGBTQ community I speak for, it's all for all of our natives. And like I'm just trying to consider it because like even our current governor now, he is so against us. It is a war against us
mm-hmm.
on everything. And so it's like it's very discouraging to want to get
he's
out there and vote because it's
yeah,
like, are they for us?
yeah,
So
he's awful. Like Kevin Stitt, and from what I know, he's not even Native, but that's a whole nother story. As a genealogist, I found that out. But but like you know what, like like we don't care for each other anyway, so it is what it is. Like, but but yeah, like I yeah, it's unfortunate that there's not a bigger community, um, like that is, I mean, at least as vocal as they need to be. However, like I know that I'm always going to be an ally of like folks in your community, um, and it's, I mean, it's unfortunate that there's not as many of us in Oklahoma, but
yes.
it like it's getting better. I think my nephew, like he has a friend who's of the community, and he was telling me that he almost fought a kid at Dale City, over his friend, and like, and I said, good job, but then I was like, don't be fighting people, but like I understand, like, and so, yeah, he's a young Black Indigenous boy, who has a friend who is LGBTQ. He's a young Black man, but yeah, I mean, it's getting better. Like the younger
Yeah.
folks are waking up. I feel like it's
And
going to take a
what
generation
would
after us. So
you? Where would you encourage the youth to start getting involved in this kind of work?
Whew. Well, really, like I said before, like just seeking out like different community leaders, but also like different events. There were quite a few at the uh, well, I shouldn't say anti-pro-life, but pro-choice rally. That's what I'm gonna call it.
Hmm.
There were quite a few there, and it was really encouraging. I took my nephew to that as well, and he understands the importance. And so, yeah, I think that that's what that's what it's going to take. And then also just educating them also about the issues, like all the young folks that we know, my niece and nephews, my nieces and nephews, in our way, I should say, I've been educating them, and they've been understanding the importance. They've been showing up. They've been attending like Zoom calls, and on Facebook, like sharing different um, posts and events and stuff
And do we
that
still have
is
rallies or
pertinent. So,
do we still have like rallies and stuff we can attend here in Oklahoma?
oh, there's gonna be some coming up. Um, right off the top of my head, I don't know. We just had that big rally, but like I know that we are gonna have the Clean Up Oklahoma rally coming up. Which is it's a caravan, which is gonna be at the state capitol on June 25th. Not June 25th, May 25th. Sorry. I'm thinking about the Creek Nation Festival. I have like all these events going on in my head. Well, actually, we're supposed to be there too, but yeah, we're gonna be there, and we're gonna talk about our initiative and what we're trying to do to like get these politicians who aren't for the people out. And then the Poor People's Campaign is gonna be there as well because Dr. King, that was his baby,
Yeah.
and the thing is like these like it's the same game like from 1964 to 2022. Like I mean it's the same people that we're dealing with, and unfortunately a lot of them are white supremacists, and like I mean let's just keep it $1, and just people that just don't care, like they want to like pad their 401ks, and they don't
Mm.
really want to like stand for anything, so they're getting in these positions and they're not really like speaking on behalf of us. So it's and then even with Stitt, I don't even want to get started on him because with him being against McGirt, you're a Cherokee citizen, man, get out of here. Like that's
Yeah.
another thing. Like, but that's a whole nother ball of
Oh
wax.
yeah.
But but
Um,
yeah, I mean it's crazy, but
so can you share a little bit more about the Freedmen efforts that you're working on?
Okay, so I am a freedman descendant. Like I said, my grandma served on the Seminole Nation General Council as the Bruner band chief for many years. And she um like was band chief around the time that they were expelled.
Hmm.
So my whole thing is when I was a kid, I saw all of this going on, right?
Oh
And
yeah.
so when it happened to the Cherokees, I was just like, man, this is like deja vu. But at the end of the day, what I did, like what I started doing in undergrad, like I, you know, sorry, like my boss is like when I was in undergrad, I went ahead and like started advocating on behalf of the freedmen. So even though I am enrolled Ponca, but like I was once enrolled Seminole as a freedman descendant. So yeah, that's what that's what I've been doing since, and I'm actually going to be advocating with the Creek Freedmen on June 25th, which is why I thought about it at the Creek Nation Festival. So yeah,
Okay. Awesome.
yeah.
Um, what do you like to do for fun?
Uh, a lot of things.
But outside of all the amazing work that you do,
Yeah.
what is what is one thing that Sache just loves to do to get her head out of this space?
So I do like to go to Kindred Spirits, which is a black-owned bar, and then also just hanging out on the east side, advocating for my community. So
That's awesome.
yeah.
Awesome. Um, so I think I've got a couple more questions. What do you find most meaningful about the work that you do?
Um, I so one I guess one thing would be I mean just ensuring that like the youth are like educated about our issues and that they're supported, right? Especially Black and Indigenous youth and youth that are Black and Indigenous, literally, because like they don't normally see people who look like them, so
Yeah.
who are in this work. So, I mean, that's one big thing, and then supporting others.
And growing up, I know it was a hard process for a lot because I do have cousins that are, and I knew it was not an easy road for them, but it is awesome to see representation. Um, where do you see us? Do you see us in the next decade making a change as Native people in the politician world?
Yeah, I do. I think people like Secretary Holland and you know, uh, and then our sister in Kansas. Like, I think that they are like really like paving the way for that. And then also, um, we have folks running that are Black and Indigenous, like in other states. And then I I just think that and then we see Ashley joined us. Like Ashley ran for Corporation Commission, which I helped with her field.
He
That
was
was
awesome.
yeah, that was so fun. But I think folks like that will really help us in like as far as like encouraging other young folks to do the same thing. So
Hi, Ashley. Good of you to join us.
yay!
So, one of my last questions of the evening, and also I have like another one to go along with it. Is there anything you'd like to highlight or plug, or is there any upcoming politicians that you'd like to mention right now that we should be looking out for and hopefully pay attention and listen to and really try to help?
Um, so there's quite a few, but one person I will mention is Amina Gafar. She's running for state house in North Carolina. She's Black and Lumbee, um, and I've been like really wanting to highlight people like her because she has really been hitting the ground running. Um, and yeah, it's just there's quite a few, but like I talked to her today, and she actually has a primary coming up. That's why I wanted to mention her. So, um,
Okay.
but yeah, she's quite the young woman, that like is on her p's and q's. So, um, but yeah, I wanted to mention her, and then here in Oklahoma, like Joshua Harris Teal, he's not indigenous. Like he makes that clear because he lived in like he is solid as well. He's running for Congressional District 5 as well. So, yeah,
I
yeah,
I
that's my
love
mention.
me some Joshua.
Yeah, he's funny. He's a
He
mess.
is good people. First time I met him, he was my type of guy. I'm like, yes,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
yes. I support you wholeheartedly.
right. Yeah.
You also mentioned that you're going to be at Creek Nation. Will you have a booth there? And how could we find you? And how do we follow you?
Okay, so we're gonna just be around. We're not gonna have a booth, but yeah. And then you can follow me here on Feisty since '87. It's private, but I will accept and will follow back. And then also Clean Up Oklahoma will be on Facebook as well as, and then I'll be posting our stuff on Instagram. So
Okay. Well, so glad to have you. I'm so glad for all the work that you've been doing. Keep doing
thank you,
amazing things. You will be in my thoughts and prayers. And
thank you.
I hope to see you around, doll.
All right, thank you.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it was short and sweet. This is the talks, our Skoden talks with the homies. Please check us out. Tomorrow we will be having another special guest at 3 p.m., I believe. So please check us out or follow us. If not, it'll be next week. We'll keep you posted. But please stay tuned, like, follow, share. Find us on YouTube, and we will catch you all next time. See y'all later.
All right. Yeah. Bye.